Guyana has had a significant boom in the past about 5 years or 8 years since the first oil. And traditionally, many countries have had an issue when they discover oil that they fall into Dutch disease. Luckily, we've had a private sector and a government that's driven growth in every single sector since we had that discovery. So sectors like the agriculture sector, the industrial, construction, manufacturing, all of these sectors have boomed individually on their own because of the introduction of oil, the introduction of natural gas into Guyana. Now we have the gas energy project coming up, which will make power 50% cheaper when it's completed. And when you think about that, you realize how many things have branched from that alone, especially the manufacturing sector. Now Guyana imports a lot of things right now, and that's because we haven't been making it ourselves. Food stuff, laptops, electronics, things like that. With this change in the economy and this change in costing, it's going to allow Guyana to produce more things for ourselves, which will in turn eventually have a reflection on our currency exchange as well. But in the construction sector in particular, because of the oil, because of the foreign investors coming into Guyana, we've had more of a push to develop more roadways, develop bridges, and link the entire country, because beforehand we were concentrating on one part of Guyana. Now with everything happening, we've been able to link the entire country piece by piece with 4-lane highways, with bridges, and that opens up not just the network for the locals, but it opens up a whole new network for the foreign investors, for like tourism, manufacturing. The natural areas like Kaitor Falls and stuff will be more accessible now. And our neighbors like Brazil, Suriname, and Venezuela, we now have a unique grasp, which we can easily reach them and reach their resources, because now it's linked. Now it's easy. Now it's convenient. So that's the main thing that's been happening. It's been driving that construction growth. It's connecting. It's all about the connection. So every single time that we have a new project, what we do, the ministry or whichever other private operator does the project, we have a list of things we go through. We go through the Environmental Protection Agency, we go through the Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Housing, Human Resources. All of those boards have to approve everything that we do. So there's a checklist where we would worry about the pedestrians to cross. So make sure we have enough signage, make sure we have lights, especially during the night. If you have road work going on, during night is the worst time and the most risky area for accidents and any other thing. So that's what we do. We have the checklist, and we make sure that any waste we produce is being dealt with properly. We capture it in the right way. We make sure it doesn't go into the waterways. We make sure it doesn't interfere with the housing around the area, and signage. So the main things are how you deal with the environment and how you deal with the pedestrians and the drivers on the road. Because a lot of times, in my experience, construction leads to a lot of accidents if it's not lighted properly. I passed in one of my sites last night. I noticed that a cone wasn't in the right spot, so I came out, I made sure it was marked properly, I made sure the excavator was protected so that nobody can come and crash into it easily. Now, since the introduction of the Dominican Embassy in Guyana, we've seen a lot of companies coming in, and I'm very happy to say that a lot of them have become like family for me. Now, our cultures actually match really well, even though we don't all speak Spanish. It's an encouragement to learn, right? So there's so much opportunity left still. We actually import a lot of steel from the DR, which I'm very happy to say because it's great quality. It's not far off. It can get to Guyana quickly. So that's one of the openings in Guyana. But apart from that, there's construction material, there's concrete production, there's steel production, there's geofabric, things like that. Everything that comes into construction, there's an opening for it, because the thing is, the market is expanding rapidly. So it's not the case where there's no room for someone. The lake's getting bigger, so everyone can get a piece of that lake, right? So even if you do get a small piece, it's still going to be a significant size because it's growing exponentially day by day. So if the Dominicans can come in and put their money down and find the right local partners and build their network, it will be incredibly helpful, not just for the construction sector, but also for tourism, for manufacturing, for hospitality, medical. There's so many things going on because remember, Guyana is still pretty brand new in some ways in comparison to some developed countries around the world. So it's a very unique and very strategic position right now for foreign investors to come in and really make their name and get their roots down.
Thank you for your time for the EH Plus community.
Perfect. My pleasure.